Hello YouTube, this is the Unlucky Tuggo 2, and I'm here to share with you my review on the Less Than Average Season 15. Okay, I don't have much more to say, so let's just get started. Gordon and Ferdinand. So here's the first episode of Season 15. The best part about it was, Thomas didn't get the premiere episode. Now we haven't had that since like Season 9. The episode looked promising, and it seemed to set the season off to an okay start. I was delighted that Ferdinand got a lead role. And finally, he said more than just, "That's right!" He was in character, but Gordon was just a blumbering idiot. Why is it that characters are only smart when they're not playing the main character? It was an okay episode. It introduced the use of a lot of alternate angles and beautiful shots, but the writing, like the rest of the season, needed some serious adjustments. 5 out of 10. Toby and Bash. This episode was a little better. It was good up until the part where Toby decides to show Bash new homes on Sodor. The scenes of them working and sharing the shed at Arlesdale Inn was nicely presented, and the scenery was beautiful. It's sort of weird seeing Bash and Dash apart. It really made me realize how annoying Bash's UK voice is. But the best part about this episode was that Toby's old character seemed to be resurfacing. Sure, he seemed a little unintelligent, but at least he wasn't a coward that's afraid of woods or steam whistles. It was nice to see Toby actually take some initiative and do something other than just hide. The episode was a good watch, but it needed some tweaks. 6 out of 10. Emily and Dash. I know. A lot of you hated this episode because of how unrealistic it is. Yes, I agree. Why the hell would Emily just leave Dash stranded on the main line like that? What if Gordon came through? I'm pretty sure Dash wouldn't be making bird calls after that. Aside from that goof, the episode was alright. The music was good, the faces were mildly amusing, and Charlie came back. But the best thing about this episode was Trevor. Now, only if he'd talk, do something, and have his name mentioned. The best episode of the first week, and it was a very good watch. I quite enjoyed it. 7 out of 10. Percy's New Friends. Now what would a season be without its bad episodes? Percy's New Friend was just horrible. I already knew it was going to be terrible by its title and episode description. At the first mention of animals, I cringed. The episodes that have to do with animals always suck. Prime example, Thomas and the Pigs. Dear God, that was a horrible episode. Now, I know Percy is supposed to be the baby character of the STEAM team, but come on! He's acted smarter than this before. It seems as the series progresses, all the characters age in reverse, getting younger and stupider. Overall, it's a 1 out of 10. It wasn't even the slightest bit amusing. Edward the Hero. Finally, a good episode that made me smile. The Edward episodes never disappoint. Examples, Charlie and Eddie, Steady Eddie, Jumping Joby Wood. All fantastic episodes. Edward's UK voice is also starting to grow on me. I quite like it now. Some of the shots in this episode were great too, especially at the beginning, like that very first shot of the camera on Edward's truck. I'm also glad Harold is getting bigger roles. He had a semi-big role in Misty Island Rescue and a one-off speaking appearance in Merry Misty Island. It's good they're using the classic characters more often. I also liked how Charlie still refers to Edward as Eddie, a reference from Charlie and Eddie. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 because it was just that good, but there were little faults here and there. James to the rescue. Come on, people, why didn't you like this episode? I thought it was great. James and Toby are in character, and seem to still have that rivalry from Time for Trouble. I liked how James was snobby, and he maintains that I can do everything, so shut up personality. Although James's rudeness was taken just a tad too far.
You are a steam tram. Steam trams can't be rescue engines.
What the hell? And come on, that crash. That crash was freaking excellent. That is something the animated series needs more of. Crashes, engines getting smashed, tracks crumbling. The crash itself is what made the episode great. Though there are 2 things that really irked me. For one, why didn't they bring Rocky to begin with? And 2, why does Percy have to go to the steamworks when his traction rods rattle? But after James is nearly squashed and drowned, he simply put back on the rails and goes back to work without any trouble. A bit of a rewrite this episode needs, methinks. Good episode, and a good watch. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Happy Hero. It was average. It was sort of cool, but it got boring about halfway through. It's nice that Hero, Charlie, Ferdinand, Bash, and Dash all appeared in the same episode. It was cool because I always wondered what it would be like if Hero went to Misty Island. The plot was sort of a Hero of the Rails and Misty Island Rescue mix. My only major beef is, why is Hero still on Sodor? I know he came back in Season 13, but is he seriously not gone home yet? Jeez, for someone who missed his homeland so much, he surely doesn't spend a lot of time there. It's gonna be a 6 out of 10 for me. It could have been better. Up, and away. Alright, I could seriously rant on about how horrible this episode was, and ramble about how much you all hate Hit, but YouTube only allows 15-minute videos. So, in short, this episode was just bad on all levels. It was boring, it was degrading, and it made no sense. For one, are we seriously supposed to believe Mr. Bubbles blew up all 4 of those balloons by himself? I hardly think so. And I was actually excited for this episode too. When I first read the description online, I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh boy, the red balloon is returning! That will be awesome! But no. this episode was a complete disappointment. There was only one part that was somewhat enjoyable, and that was...
all the hats were hatless.
Yeah, I chuckled at that. It's a 1 out of 10. It was just that bad. Henry's Happy Coal. I'll be honest, I thought this episode was gonna suck. I mean, how good can an episode possibly be with a stupid title like that? But I was pleasantly surprised. The episode rocked, and it has become one of my favorites from this season. Sure, Henry still needing special coal's a bit dumb, but who cares at this point? From all the crap the show has acclaimed through the years, a good Railway Series reference is a nice breath of fresh air. Ari and Bert having big roles was nice too. They haven't done anything in the past seasons, so it was nice to see them actually doing something. Good episode, and I quite like that remix of Henry Season 8 theme that was used. More like this are needed, methinks. 8 out of 10. Spencer the Grand. Yes, I'm doing the episodes out of order. I'll get to that later, so just deal with it. Anyways, this episode was pretty good too. Nice effects with the fog, despite the fact I could barely see anything, but I guess that's what they were kind of aiming for. But finally, Spencer has gotten a lead role in an episode. He's made several appearances in the background and had some little speaking roles in Season 13, but finally he gets an episode to himself, and it was played out rather nicely. With and Mavis speaking was just fine, though I think they could have squeezed Scruffin in there somewhere. Not bad at all, but it could have used some tweaks here and there. 7 out of 10.